This conference will now be recorded.
So how to build an excellent career in embedded systems and IoT. So this is going to be a workshop based approach where I'll be asking questions. It's not going to be a monologue, even though we are sitting in virtual mode. So please open and answering in the chat window, as I already mentioned. Right? And my name is Jay Kumar, and I am part of Emerzi. I'll introduce the company and myself shortly. And I am hosting this webinar from Bangalore. So let me give an introduction about the company. So many of you know our organization name is pronounced as Emerzi. Some of them will pronounce as Emertex or Emertexi, various ways people pronounce. But the real way to pronounce it is Emerzi. This Emerzi word is nothing but if you take the word extreme and reverse, you'll get this particular word called Emerzi. If you read the company name from right to left, you'll see extreme, right? So basically, we are a company who's been in this particular education business for the past 17 plus years. We established in 2003, and mainly we offer two type of things. One, we offer education and training programs for entry-level engineers and corporate organizations. When you say entry-level engineers, as you all know, in India we have roughly 15 lakhs, engineering graduates are passing out every year, out of which very minuscule of them are employable. Just hold on, I'm hearing some queries that audio is breaking. I don't know why. Let me try. Just a minute, guys. Is it better? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And still I'm hearing some music noise and all. Request you to mute. Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing so many S's. Okay, I'll proceed. Okay. So when you say entry-level engineers, so many lakhs of people are graduating, but very few are having the employability. And also the current situation, you all know, we're all lockdown period, and the situation is quite concerning. So we offer training programs to make these entry-level engineers employable, and also we offer training programs for companies, senior working professionals. We offer training programs on specific topics so that they can improve their skill set and contribute well in their project. Okay? And we also have done some real-time implementation of various projects in the area of embedded systems and IoT, including areas like industrial IoT, etc. So that's what we have been doing. And we are a set of people. I will briefly introduce about myself, and also I have a set of colleagues. We all have real experience with working in companies like HP, Huawei, Novell, etc. So we've been really passionate about this field. That's why we are actually running this particular organization, right? That's what our team is all about. And as some of you might know, Government of India has launched this particular program called Skill India. Under Skill India, we are one of the training partners where we offer training programs in compliance with the guidelines provided by Skill India, and all the courses that people are doing with us are certified by Skill India people. Right. So that's about the company. About myself, so that's how I look when I was young. I'm losing more hair these days. So I am from, basically I did my engineering in computer science from NIT Warangal. It was earlier called REC, Regional Engineering College. I graduated in computer science, and I started my career with a startup called Ishoni Networks. There's a small story also I want to share. After graduating, or in the third year of graduation itself, I had a campus job. And by the time I passed out along with my friends, right, the 2000 recession started. That there will be 9/11 attack, and there was a telecom market meltdown, etc. right? So there was a huge issue in the market. That's also one of the lessons that I can share with all of you as we move forward. So that's why I ended up starting with a startup company, Ishoni Networks. Started working on the broadband, gateway or broadband devices, which we are using in our homes today. Then subsequent to that, I moved on to HP, Hewlett Packard, as a part of their inkjet printer division. As you know, HP makes a different type of printers. I was part of their inkjet team, building primarily the networking and connectivity software, right? Then I spent about 7.5 years in HP and played various roles. And then I moved on to Huawei, where I worked on leading a larger team. I was a senior manager in Huawei, leading a team of about 60 people involved in the R&D areas of embedded Linux, because as you know, Huawei makes a lot of products in the telecommunication and networking. So those products need to be migrated to Linux from many of the legacy telecom operating systems. So that's what I was working on. And in my 12.5, 13 years stint with various these three companies, so I've been involved right from the product conceptualization and development, testing, release, support. So I completely handle the end-to-end product development life cycle. A good number of products are very much live even today as we speak. Played various roles in my career: technical leader, program manager, project manager, group manager, etc. And as I spent about 12.5, 13 years with these companies, education has always been my passion. So I strongly believe that education is something which can differentiate and bring transformative changes in people's life. So I quit my corporate career and I joined Immerzi. So Immerzi is more like, started my very close friend. So then we joined together as a team, and we are driving this organization forward. So I'm also believe in sharing knowledge, not only me, along with my colleagues in my company. So this webinar is more about bringing in awareness, bringing in certain knowledge, especially in these difficult times, right? So that's what is going to be the approach that we are taking, right? That's about my profile, okay? So before I move on, there is some question here. Will you provide any workshop certification? Yes, I forgot to mention about that, right? So all of you, along with the material, will also be getting a soft copy of a certificate that also will be provided by today. And let me repeat: the recorded video, the material, the slide I am sharing right now, and also the participation certificate, quiz winners based on the results today. All of them will be announced by today evening. You can watch it for your mailbox. Also follow our social media channels. Some of you are already aware. So we'll be announcing it. Everything will be doing it. So thanks for the question, Gopi. Right. So as we are sitting, right, as we are initiating this webinar, that's why I asked the question: where are you basically sitting? Right. Many of you told I am from Anandpur, I am in Delhi, I am in Mumbai, etc. Right. I'm pretty sure a lot of questions are running in your mind. Right. Okay. So some of the questions I'm just flashing in the screen now. Right. We are getting into recession. What about my future, right? Some of you, most of you would have finished your engineering, or your examination has been postponed, or you are from 2019 or 18, basically pass outs, right? So now everybody talking about job losses, and a good number of companies are publicly announcing about layoffs, etc. What would be my future? I'm pretty sure this would be the #1 question. Also, could be the reason why you are attending this workshop, to get some clarity, right? Am I right, guys? Is this the #1 question? Can I get some answers in the window, please? Okay, yeah, Rajul says yes, Krishna, okay. And there are some queries here. Yeah, certificate will be shared in the soft copy. That's a question from Yashaswani. And Kamlesh, you will get a video recorded of this workshop, right, to answer. In YouTube, we will share the link, right? So this is the #1 question. Not only that, many other similar questions may be running around in your mind. Some of them, other question could be too many job losses. If senior people are losing jobs, how am I going to start my career, right? So this is another question maybe running your in mind. When this is going to end, right? Okay, week after week or once in 3 weeks, we look into television, we watch social media, right? Many states are still extending the lockdowns, and some area things are opened up, but still you are really worried about what would be the situation. We're all scared, including myself, to step out of the house and resume the so-called normal life, right? This is going to be a longer, much longer battle than we all have imagined, right? And other question also might be coming into your mind is like, what can I do, right? This situation you cannot change, right? Tomorrow we cannot go and apply some kind of a magic where the coronavirus runs away from the world, right? So what can I do, right? And or who can help me in this, right? Who can at least demystify some of these queries that are there in my mind, etc., right? So this is some of the questions which are running in your mind, right? And I'm pretty sure these are just sample or examples. You may have way more than this number of questions running in your mind. Okay, so let me take few questions now. You can just type your questions in the chat window. I'm already seeing 3-4 questions, so let me answer one by one. In the meantime, you can also type your question, right? So there is Gopi Suresh asked, like, do embedded companies really hire freshers after this lockdown, right? I would say, Gopi, not only after lockdown, I'm seeing they're still hiring, right? As I speak, I would say, as far as our placement the team is concerned, we are seeing, for example, last 2 to 3 weeks, we had at least about some 7-8 companies which are still hiring. So I would say not after, the hiring is already happening. In fact, the companies have already adopted the online-based test and virtual or WhatsApp-based interviews. And some of them even received offer letters. They are already joining, and joining us are happening via the virtual mode. So hiring is happening for embedded system domain. That's the answer, right? So other question is basically from Vinod. Does Immersive provide individual focus on the student enrolled for training? Yes. We have a very comprehensive support mechanism using which you can not only basically do your courses online, but also you can ask your questions, doubts, clarification, everything you can do it via online, right? And even if you still have a doubt, our mentors are available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Via various support channels to answer your queries, right? That's always there. Other questions, Yashaswani again says, shall we have recruitment based on embedded system after this lockdown? Absolutely, yes. That's what I already told. Definitely they are already hiring, right? Gopi is asking, does VLSI companies have embedded engineers? Yes, see, Gopi, the things Qualcomm, Intel is asking. So if you look at any of these companies, be it Qualcomm, be it NXP, Intel, were primarily called as MNCs or semiconductor companies, right? So they build embedded platforms, right? There you cannot separate hardware and software separately, right? They both work together, right? For example, even if you take a company like Intel, suppose they are churning out a new chip or a new platform, that platform hardware alone will not help. Of course, hardware helps because it is a base in which you build, but that base is of no use if there is no intelligent software running into it, right? So definitely there is more hiring happening in the software side also. In fact, I would say in India, let me repeat, in India, we have more number of openings for embedded software than VLSI jobs. Okay, so that's been the trend we are seeing, right? Other questions are coming up. When do I start? How to pursue it? So Kamlesh, I hope you are asking about this particular our course, online course, right? So I have my colleague Smita here. She will be answering you this query offline. Okay, Smita, you can note down. Kamlesh, yes. Okay. And Rashid is asking, how is the scope for embedded systems and IoT now? Rashid, things have slowed down. Okay, I'm not giving you that things are doing excellently well or something like that. Due to the coronavirus, companies have cut down their project budgets, and then the roadmaps are getting redefined, etc. But one good thing what I'm seeing is hiring continue to happen, right? And what I'm seeing, just if you hold on for another 1 or 2 slides, I will show you that because of this coronavirus situation, more use cases and more problem statement are emerging in the market, which is triggering more companies to start innovating. And they're starting to innovate in a very fast pace because the world is not ready to wait for the solution for this pandemic that has been caused, right? So I would say as of now, things are slowed down, but after the lockdown is lifted, I'm seeing the hiring activities have picked up. And I'm going forward, we are only predicting that it's going to get better, at least as far as embedded systems and IoT is concerned, because the simple reason being these skills are not generic skills, guys. Okay. So maybe if you look at companies like Swiggy or Zomato, right? They're laying off people left, right, and center. If you go and see what type of jobs that are getting laid off, they have various basically designation. They have operational manager, they have process consultant, they have this, they have that. Those type of jobs can be very well replaced by a software or a tool, or even for that matter, they can hire later if that skill is not very difficult skill to hire, right? Any degree or any graduate will be able to do that. On the other hand, if you take a core domains like VLSI design or embedded system or IoT, those skills are not something you can build overnight. Companies spend years together to build this expertise, right? So that's one of the reason why you will not see major layoffs or major people losing jobs, at least as far as embedded systems domain is concerned, because this is fairly stable. As I told in the beginning, this is my third cycle. 2000 was the first cycle as soon as I graduated. Then 2008 has happened, the Lehman Brothers meltdown, and now we are talking about 2020. It's a third recession that I am facing in my career, right? And every time I have seen after career, at least a domain like embedded system is only going up and more jobs are getting created. So you don't need to absolutely worry about should I make it as a career. It is a very stable career. You can very well have a career in it, provided you have the necessary skills. I'll talk about it shortly in the subsequent slides. Okay. I hope, Rashid, your question is answered. And there is Neeraj Chaurasia. He's asking, is a pass out matter for companies hiring? I would say no, Neeraj, because majority of the companies who are hiring from us, they're mainly hiring for the skill set, as I answered for Rashid's question also, because they all know that today the engineering degree or the marks that you're carrying in your mark sheet or in your lab exam, it is having relatively lesser significance, right? Somebody can come and tell, I have 72% in my engineering, or somebody can come and tell, I have 65% in engineering. These numbers are not making any sense to companies because that is not reflecting in the skill, right? One is qualification and era pass out, another is skill, right? So what in the recent past we have seen, at least 2019 statistics, if you look at, right? At least I would say we did about 400 plus drives, right? If you look at what is at least 1/3 of them, at least 150 plus drives have happened where companies came and told us we are not looking for an academic criteria, we are not looking for era pass out criteria. We really don't care, right? As long as the candidate can come to the interview and prove his skill set, that's what we want. So I don't think you should be too much concerned about your era pass out, and even for that matter, your percentage. I'm 65%, sir. I'm 60%. I'm 70%. Doesn't matter. I hope that answered your question, right? Savita is asking, what about placement in our institute? That also we can clarify, Savita. My colleague will get back to you on this. Just to give a brief, right? The way we have structured our placement thing is that you will have about, for the online course is about 4.5 months duration, and after the course gets over, you will get placement support, unlimited placement support for 1 year's time. Suppose you start the course in June, right? July, August, September, October, you finish your course, October 2020. Till October 2021, you will get a placement support from us. And during this time, you can apply for unlimited number of companies, right? So that's what my answer would be. Anyways, my colleague will still follow up on this. How many, Allah Lalit Kumar is asking, how many embedded engineers are recruited after lockdown? Wow, that's a good question. So Lalit, if you ask me, as I told, the number of the drives actually mainly started opening only in the May 14th or May 13th when the lockdown got lifted across the country. Outside the active hiring is being happening for the past 2 weeks. In the past 2 weeks, I would say easily around 6 to 8 students. I'm talking about last 2 weeks, right? Who already got their offers, and some more are in pipeline, right? I would say easily about a dozen people would have got their offers by now, right? I'm talking about last 2 weeks, right? That's the number you can think of. And number of companies, as I told, about 8 to 10 companies have come in the last 10-15 days time. That's a rough line, but more or less this is the picture as of now, the hiring picture. Jyotsna is asking, sir, can we expect 10 lakh package in this field? Absolutely, yes, Jyotsna. You can get much more than that, okay? Because embedded system is a domain, as I told, it is well established, and companies are ready to pay for the right skill set, right? So, for example, if you look at some of the companies who are hiring from us itself, right? We have companies like Qualcomm who are paying anywhere around up and above 15 lakhs salary, right? We have NXPs which are hiring more than about 6-7 lakhs salary, right? We are seeing that is already happening for the entry-level engineers. But having said that, not everybody will get into the 10 lakh package to start with, right? I would suggest that even if you are getting into a 3 lakh salary or 3.5 lakhs per annum salary, I see a lot of people gaining about two year or 3 year work experience. They get much more than the package, whatever you are telling, right? I don't think package is any concern. And please note, this package is not going to go up or go down significantly. It has been very stabilized and it has been very standard for so many years. It's not like, for example, data science, where all of a sudden freshers are getting 40 lakhs and suddenly they're throwing them out of jobs, right? That's not going to happen in embedded systems and IoT domain. It's fairly remain stable, right? So, guys, one more request to all of you, right? My idea is not to run the slides. Okay, slides I can send it to all of you. Can even read through that. My idea is to answer as many queries as you have, and also make it as an interactive session. So even if I'm not sticking to the time of 1 hour, so please be considerate, because these discussions I feel very important, especially in these difficult times, right? I hope you understand this particular Q&A. I'll pause in between. Let me clear out some good ones, and then we'll pause in between, right? So this training is eligible for 2020 pass out student. Pratik says yes. Pratik, of course, it is eligible for 2020 batches also. Is it available to join internship? Shaikh Mehraj is asking. So Shaikh, we are about to roll out a shorter term of our course of virtual internship. Okay, Smita, you can take a note of this with Shaikh Mehraj. You can clarify him offline. So many of you who are in third year are, for example, looking for a 4 weeks to 6 weeks type of an internship in a virtual mode, right? We are working out something in collaboration with NSDC, right? That program is not formally launched, but we can share you the details. Okay, we'll share you the offline. Okay. So Damodar is asking which when the training SRT training classes, you'll get to know the next batch details. And Karthikeyan is asking, sir, is it necessary to learn web technologies for embedded? Data, Java, Python. No, Karthikeyan, you don't need to learn anything about web technology for embedded engineer. I'll show you the skill set that you need to have. Predominantly, you need to learn only one programming language, that is C. If you know the C programming very well, you can be a very good embedded engineer. You don't need to worry about Java, Python, because what happens is, if you look at where Karthikeyan, this question coming from, you look at 90s and early 2000s, right? These NITs and Aptex came to the world. They proliferated this concept of learning 20 programming languages, C, C++, .NET, C, blah, blah, blah. You name it, it look like a laundry list, right? So we are not going to take the approach. That's not going to work, especially in embedded domain. You learn one programming language, learn it very well, right? That's our mantra. Okay? I hope Karthik has answered. So Sunita is asking, is this training only for BTech completed people? No, Sunita, anybody can join this course, okay? And we also understand 2020, the university exams are getting postponed. You don't know when the exams are going to happen and when the colleges are going to happen because of the corona situation, and the social distancing need to be followed during the exams, etc. So my request is, if you are really willing to utilize this time, this is the best time. I don't think in your lifetime you will get this this kind of a timeline with a good internet connectivity, right? I think whatever skill set you want to pursue, I'm not telling only the course through us, any skill set that you want to pursue, this is really a best time, guys, right? I would say it's not necessary to have a BTech. Lalit is asking, is the internship available online? Yes, Lalit. As I mentioned, it's not formally launched yet. We're almost ready with everything. The short-term 4 to 6 weeks of program is also very much online driven, because we are very clear that we cannot do a classroom-oriented programs at least for some more time. And we don't want to take any risk of calling students and making them sit in the class, making them sit next to each other, and including our own team members, right? Why we want to risk it? So the mode of delivery will remain online for some more time until we are absolutely confident about the safety and security aspect, right? Is there career scope more in embedded systems or IoT? Rashid is asking. Again, that's a very interesting question. I will talk about it, Rashid, because there is also a question or something in your mind that how embedded system is different from IoT, or is it the same, right? Just hold on that thought, Rashid. I have few slides later in the presentation where I will call out the difference between an embedded system job and an IoT job, right, or a skill set. Just hold on for some more time. Okay, Malyadri. Yeah, Malyadri is asking what are the minimum and maximum packages for placements. Minimum we start around 2.53 lakhs. Malyadri, that's roughly a number. Maximum, as I told, it goes 15 plus lakhs with companies like Qualcomm, right? Savita is telling, sir, I still need offline course. No problem, Savita, you can wait. As I told, we are not opening our classroom, rather physical classroom sessions due to that situation, right? So you can wait and get in touch with our admission team. They will share. Malyadri is again asked when the new batch is starting. Is it online or a classroom? So Malyadri, the next batch I think it should be starting in June. Smita, you can take a note and reach out to Malyadri. It will be an online 4.5 months program. Smita will share more details on that, right? So Gopi is asking, what are the protocols we need to learn to become an expert in embedded systems? That's again a very good question. I would say you can categorize the protocols into two buckets, at least at a high level. One, if you look at embedded system as a system, right, it has got various components in it, namely a microcontroller or a RAM or any other circuits like a timer or a LCD or a 7-segment display, etc. So when you wanted to communicate something between them, or when you want to communicate within the board, you call those protocols as intra protocols. Let me also type in your this thing. So there are some protocols which are called as let me just type it in the notepad in this one. I just have it here, so I'll also paste this here. Please, Smita's contact, you can. So basically, there are certain protocols are there which are called intra board. Okay, so intra board means within the board. So where you have protocols like, for example, CAN, okay, I2C, SPI, etc. So these protocols are required to become a good embedded engineer, because these protocols are extensively used in real-time protocols, real-time product development. In the similar lines, if one board want to talk to other board, especially on an internet-networking scenario, right? So I'd say board to board or device to device, you have various protocols are there which are all based on the TCP/IP. So when I say TCP/IP, it has got a whole bunch of protocols, including, for example, HTTP, right? And then you have, if you look at IoT and all, you have other protocols like MQTT, right? COAP, etc. Right? So having an exposure towards both would help to have a to become a good embedded engineer. I would say like that, right? Rashid is asking, is online training as effective as classroom training to get placements? So I would say, Rashid, it depends on the individual. Yes, from our side, we are putting all the efforts. It's not only basically a classroom-based delivery. There'll be assignment sessions, structured interventions, and then doubt clearing, etc. Right? You can get more details and then you can decide accordingly. So yes, we have put enough components in place, because one key challenge learning online is, and another question also I keep hearing about people, not only from us, in general, when people say embedded system learning online, right? People have been a lot of concerns about, sir, what about board? I can't get out of my house. There's a lockdown, and all the electronic components person, even the shops or even portals like Amazon or Flipkart, they're not delivering electronic components anymore, right? Anyways, the smaller shopkeepers have shut the shop. So how do I get hold of hardware? My request is, you don't need to have a hardware to learn embedded system via online or whatever the means that you wanted to have. So let me just quickly show you one thing here. There is a Pick2Sim lab. There is a small simulator that is available just for you to, I'm just showing where there is a will, there is a way, right? Okay, if you look at this particular software, which is in fact used in our online course also, This one is nothing but a proper simulator of a PIC hardware. I'm sure all of you would have come across PIC, ARM, or Atmel controllers. At least you would have programmed in one controller, right? If you see here, right, even it can simulate Arduino. Look at this pop-up, right? It simulates a particular real hardware, right? You don't need a board, and it has got a wonderful what do you say, the integrated development environment where you can develop the code, download it here. You can very well test it here. And tomorrow, if you have a hardware available, you can buy very minimal change. You can download the code into the real hardware. It will work as it is, right? So you don't need to worry about, should I buy a hardware? How do I learn, right? In fact, for all our online courses, we are using simulators like this. So all I'm trying to say is, don't get bogged about the current COVID situation. There are enough and more avenues for you to learn, right? I hope that's clear. Okay. Oh my, so many questions are there. Anyways, I'll take another 2 more questions before I proceed, because it's important for me to answer questions. Slideware, anyways, you can access. That's not a problem. So what is the advantage of student choosing Immerzi for the training? As I told, it's not only about training. Some of you will be, especially when you talk about online, you hear about Udemy, right? You can say 450 rupees I pay, then I get a online course on any topic that I can think of, right? So if you look at those portals, they mainly give you the content in form of video or in form of materials, and then they leave it up to you whether you want to finish it in 1 month or whether you want to finish it in 1 year. There is no follow-up, there is no mentoring, there is no support available in all these portals, right? That's where we feel is important for folks like you who are coming from a tier 2, tier 3 city, studying in a tier 2, tier 3 engineering college, but you are very much motivated and aspirational to be successful in your career. So what the main difference in our course we are bringing in is, it's not only the virtual classroom or the recorded classroom, right? There will also be intervention sessions in terms of support, in terms of doubt clarification, in terms of assignment evaluation, in terms of online test, weekly test, prep sessions, resume preparation, everything we put together. I would say whatever we do in our classroom, we have brought it everything to a digital platform now. That's going to be something very important as far as placement is concerned, because learning, you can learn anything, right? I can even learn Japanese. That's not going to stop in this tough scenario. So many courses are available for free also. But your goal is not only learn something, you also need to achieve something in form of placements, right? So that's where this support comes in very handy. So thanks for the question, Vinod. So Krishna is asking, what are the latest platforms which are trending in embedded systems? So Krishna, there are a lot of platforms. Every company keep releasing new platforms. Okay, say for example IoT. Every company that you can think of are releasing their own platform, both on the software side and also hardware side, right? I don't know whether you know this one. Even companies like Amazon, right? They went ahead and acquired this particular company called FreeRTOS, right? I don't know how many of you are aware. So this particular company, right, eventually becoming a initial open source one, right? This Amazon is backing such kind of products, right? The reason being, more and more basically companies want to build everything, right? Right from the hardware, sensor, everything they want to support, right? So this is a reason why you can see tons of platform available. So my request is not to get board specific or a platform specific, right? Even similar to that, we have been talking about another OS in for IoT. It's called Mongoose OS, right? It's a very good another platform which has come up for IoT. You can see launch your IoT project fast and easy. There are new things that are coming up here. Okay, you don't need to worry about all these things. Focus on the basics. I'll talk about in my subsequent slides, right? Yeah, Gopi Suresh talks about protocols. Okay. Is embedded system good topic to gain a research? Kamalesh, yes, there are a lot of new areas of research coming in embedded systems. For example, one case I would say is, we talk about machine learning, right? We talk about artificial intelligence, which requires a lot of processing to be done in a very small amount of time. So your hardware and your embedded system should be geared up for that. Okay, as I told about an example of FreeRTOS, even Mongoose OS, web companies are investing heavily here, because unless this hardware and this embedded firmware becomes powerful, you cannot drive use cases like artificial intelligence. You think about companies like NVIDIA, who've been making graphics cards. They're building big time into AI and ML, right? You can see a semiconductor company doing an AI and ML work, right? These areas would require a lot of research in it, and I'm seeing more and more new trends are coming up, all these things, right? Okay. Priyanshu is asking how companies are hiring students during this lockdown from Immerzi. Priyanshu already clarified. They're all taking the virtual route. They're conducting the tests online. They're doing the interviews also online via Skype or WhatsApp or GoToMeeting like this, right? They're doing that. Few companies in Bangalore, especially the startups, which are inviting students to physically come there. Okay, that also we've been very careful. We are only requesting people who are located in Bangalore can reach the interview location by taking their own vehicle, because public vehicle also we are not recommending. By taking all the safety precautions, some of the companies are doing physical interviews also. Okay, I'm talking about the last 2-3 weeks scenario after the lockdown got started opening up, right? I would say, but predominantly the process remains virtual. Ajay is asking, what are all the languages to learn for embedded system? Do we need a knowledge of boards and chips? Ajay, just hang on. As I already told you, it's about C programming. If you give me a few more minutes, I will get back to the slides and then I'll walk you through the skill sets in detail. Sanjay is telling I am 2014 ME pass out. Which course will be the best for me to join embedded system design? I would say you can go with the embedded system course itself, Sanjay. Okay, as I told already, your ERA pass out or your percentage will not be a limitation. As long as you build a skill set properly, you should be able to have your career in the embedded domain. Which other computer language used in this course? In this course, we also focus on C++, and in our IoT course, we should focus on Python also, Shubham. I'll come to that shortly. Okay. What is the main course for embedded system? Sunita, I'll show you shortly. Okay. Sir, if you like to get 10 lakh packages, what skill set we should learn? Okay. Satvika is really promised somebody that she wants to get a 10 lakh job. Really appreciate your spirit, Satvika. So the same skill set, it's not about, as I'm telling, right? You need to learn more skill set to get more package, right? Somebody knows 2 programming languages, so he will get 3 lakh salary. Somebody knows 4 programming language, you get 10 lakh salary. It's not like that, right? Whatever you know, how depth you know. If you ask me, the people who got jobs in Qualcomm, let us say some of my students, right, who got 15 plus lakh salary, they didn't do anything extra, I would say. Whatever we do in our course, whatever the projects that we are recommending them to do, they done it. Only thing is they done it well. They really understood the subject, they did it well. That's all is the answer, right? You don't need to do anything extra for that matter, right? That's the answer. So what is the main course in embedded system? Ganesh, I'll just walk you through. I think many questions are coming in about the course details. Smita, I hope you are noting down these queries also. Karthikeyan, sir, regarding the Robert Bosch, Honeywell, when will they start recruitment from Emergy? What companies expect from us? So Karthik, I cannot go company wise because our company's patterns keep changing. Even if you go back and look into our placement calendar, whatever companies recruit in, let us say, Jan to June and June to December, the pattern will be very different. So we will not be able to tell, when which company will come. It purely depends on their business requirement. Coming to the skill set, what they expect is the same, right? I'll walk you through. I think the skill topic is heating up, right? I think, oh my God, so many questions are there. Okay, let me at least quickly go through because we also need to keep a watch on time. Yeah, basic concept skill set I'll cover. Madan Hegde, just hang on. Python, I'll come back to that, Satvika. Deepika, can you explain courses offered by you in embedded system? Hang on, Deepika, I'll come back. Muthukumar, will the hiring rate will decrease or the salary package will decrease in the upcoming years? So Muthukumar, that's a very interesting question, right? He's asking 2 questions. One is telling, will the recruitment will come down and will the salary will come down, right? Okay, so at least by looking into the recent trends, at least last, as I told, 2 to 3 weeks trend where we have started seeing some upstream in terms of hiring in our, as far as our placement companies are concerned. I don't see anybody has slashed salaries, right? They are continue to offer whatever the salary they were offering, but the rate has come down. Yes, that's a fact. In fact, it has almost come to 0. If you look at March, April timeframe or March 2nd week or 3rd week when the Prime Minister announced the main lockdown, right? From then on, at least till May or April end or May 1st week, it was really, really low. Now it's again started picking up. We hope it will continue the momentum going forward also. But yeah, compared to last year or beginning of this year, the pace has come down, but salary cut has not started happening mainstream, at least as far as the embedded companies are concerned. We're not seen a company which are offering 4 lakhs earlier now coming in offering 3 lakhs. No, we're not seen any cases like that. They continue to offer the salary as of now. Okay. Are the programming languages start from scratch? Ajit says yes, Ajit. Okay, we take a very foundational approach. You don't need to learn anything and come. I tell people, you come here and learn, right? As long as you learn with the right mindset, you can learn anything. My students come without any programming background. In fact, all the programming language, if you see in colleges, right? I always tell in a very funny manner, right? In colleges, we never learn programming. We learn programs. What I mean by difference between programs and programming? Program means basically you're by hearting, right? Fibonacci series, printing triangle, or what is it, odd even, or leap year, blah blah blah. Some 5-6 program you by heart, line by line. That's called programs. You're by hearting a set of programs. Programming is something where you apply your logic and then you get output, right? So we will transition you from a program to programming person, right? You don't need to worry about that. And this time I want to join for embedded system design engineer. Yes, that's what is this all about. Okay. Jyotsna is asking, is Linux required for IoT and embedded? Definitely, Jyotsna Satvika, because Linux is open source, Linux is free. If you look at any of these platforms that I talk about, whether it is Mongoose, whether it is FreeRTOS, whether it is Linux, or even Android for that matter, they all have some of the other flavor of open source development model, right? So having Linux skill is very, very important for an embedded engineer, because you see, apart from Linux, there is hardly any other OSs. Like, for example, when I started my career, there was an operating system called VxWorks, right? You don't have a trace of it today, right? Pretty much everything has become Linux centric. So it's important to have the Linux skill. Okay? So Savita is again asking, yeah, Savita, offline course, my colleague will get in touch with you. Okay, she is noting down, right? What are the expectations from core companies to get a good core job? Rashid, hold on, skill part, I'll come to that, right? Kurba Ganesh is asking, only C language is enough for embedded? Yes, Ganesh, Kurba Ganesh, I'll clarify that. Okay. Sarasu is asking, 2021 students are eligible for embedded internship. Yes, Sarasu, we are formulating this internship for people who are in 2, 4, 6, 8 semesters. Let me repeat, we are formulating the internship program who are in 2, 4, 6, 8. That is any year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Anybody who can spend 4 to 6 weeks of time on a dedicated basis can do this particular internship, right? So Smita, you can take a note about Sarasu's query also about the internship. Just a minute, guys, I'll gulp some water. Then Meenakshi is asking, which microcontrollers are good to study for beginners? Anything, Meenakshi. Okay. Restrict, as I already told you, don't think I need to learn PIC or I need to learn Atmel. Any microcontroller you learn, take it up and learn, but learn well. That's important. Get practical, do hands-on. Only that is going to help. Okay. So Shubham Khatri is asking, I don't know C language perfectly, so can I take this course? Of course, Shubham. Okay. All the students, as I told you in the beginning, join our course by hearting and getting marks in the college. We teach everything from the scratch, from step 0 or step 1, whatever you can call. So only thing is, whatever is being taught, follow it well. My recommendation would be that. Right? Let me repeat, you don't need to learn anything and come and do our course. Rather, I say you come and learn well, right? Learn as per the mentors are instructing you. That will take care of your skill set automatically. In fact, if you ask me, all the students who are getting good jobs through us, right? They didn't have anything extra. They were just the same set of people like you people. Only thing is they were 1 year before. That's the only difference, right? Okay, and year on year, I'm saying the story remains same. There is nothing that is extraordinarily that is required from anybody who is joining our course or anybody who wanted to get into the embedded job. As long as you do the basic things correctly, that should be good enough, right? And Malyadri is asking, what are the hardware boards provided during the session? Could you please elaborate? As said, Malyadri, we basically don't, we are not forcing you to buy the hardware. We are using these simulators. One is the Pick2Sim Lab. Okay. The other simulator we are using is called QEMU. QEMU is for more of embedded Linux-based learning. Since it is an online scenario and you are not able to buy the board. But if you wanted to buy the board, we already have the PIC-based board. And for embedded Linux, we use a BeagleBone, which you can very well buy and say run the same code in the board also. In the given scenario, students are not able to get hold of the boards. That's why we are taking the simulator-based approach. Later point in time, once you are able to buy the boards, you can very well buy them and try. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay. Okay. Yeah. FTP. Also, we have, yeah, FTP protocol. Why is embedded system domain more preferred than other domains? Vinod is asking. It's mainly because today everything has become device centric. You can see the number of devices that are coming along, and the devices are going to only become more, right? So that's the reason why embedded is becoming more popular. I cover a few more use cases in the current COVID scenario also, which will re-establish this particular point, right? Pratik is asking, sir, when to join the classroom offline training for 2020 pass out? I am finally a student. Pratik, I don't have an answer for your question. In fact, nobody has an answer. Given a chance, I want to open our office today and start the classroom session. But as I told you, we don't have a clear-cut view about when the situation will become normal, when the we'll be able to ensure 100% student safety, because it's not like just making you guys come, right? We need to take care of your safety, travel, and many of you are coming from outside of Bangalore. You'll be taking accommodation. Everything should be safe for us. At least every day, top of my mind, my student safety comes to our priority, right? So we don't have an answer. You can keep in touch with our admission team. Then you can take further details, right? Same thing, Yashwani is also doing. Okay. What are the topics need to be concentrated in embedded system? Meenakshi, just hold on. I will show you this. Okay. Can a third year student join this? Yes, Rashid, both our full-blown program and the internship program, you can very well take up any of this course. Now, there is no prerequisite. If you ask me, you'll I don't know what you think. Okay. For me, even a 12th standard student comes and take this course, we are fine. Because we know anyways engineering is you are not learning anything practically, right? I hope most of you would agree to me. Whether you are third year or final year, what difference it make? Only thing is you by hearted another 10 subjects more. That's all. Practically, whether it's a second year, third year, or final year, they all remain the same for us. In fact, I wanted to. This question was asked by what Rashid is asking. Sometime back, one of our other student asked. He said, "Sir, what if I do the embedded system course after my 12th standard? Right? If I skip my engineering and come and do this course at the age of 17." How would I look like? I said, you will not look like anything different. In fact, you will do better, because here you are learning certain things in a wrong way. For example, programming, right? You by heart the program. Then we need to tell, no, don't by heart. Then you learn it in the right way. It takes time. But if you come and learn the programming from day one in the right way, your learning pace and your learning, speed will be very, very high, right? So that way, there is no year pass out. There is no year restriction. Anybody can do this course. Okay? Important topics to be placed in Robert Bosch. Meenakshi is very particular, right, about Robert Bosch. There is no specific as such, Meenakshi. I will show you the skill set as I told. We cannot do anything company specific or salary specific. We only can do things skill specific. As long as you do that skill set, you should be through. Okay. And is there any strong electronic basics is required for freshers in embedded system? No, Vikram, your very basics, whatever you studied in your college should be good enough, because if you look at the course, especially if you look at embedded system, our course is mainly an embedded software course, right? Where programming, logic, those aspects come into picture than more of a hardware design or chip design, right? So as long as you have reasonable basic understanding about digital electronics, analog electronics, etc., that should be good enough. Is there any interview preparation sessions for your online classes, Rashid? Yes, we do a lot of interview preparation sessions, including the resume preparation, because I have very clear idea about how you people write the resumes, copy paste from my friend, and everybody's resume look the same. That's not the way you should write your resume. In fact, we conduct workshops also for writing the resume as well. Okay. Also, as so many queries are coming, what questions will come in Robert Bosch, what question will come in Honeywell, etc. Our mentors will keep conducting certain workshop or preparation sessions just before the interview, so that you brush up and go. Based on our past experience, they do conduct the brush up or prep sessions as well. Okay. What if we choose embedded system course? Can we get into software or hardware field? That's a very important question, Savita. See, if you look at that is mainly on the embedded software side. Just hold on. I have very detailed side on this particular job role side. Okay. Is it mandatory to learn Linux OS for operating embedded systems? Yes, Meenakshi. Linux is a very mandatory skill to have a job or career in embedded system. Okay. What would be the course fee? Appalla Deepika is asking. My colleague Smita will get back. Request Smita to take a note. Appalla Deepika. Okay. All right. So I think I will pause here. I'll come back, right? Because we are taking more time. Other folks maybe and who are not asking questions, but please answer as many questions as possible. In case if it is not clarified, even after the presentation, we can still chat. Okay, and I don't have any concern about spending time here. My idea is to clarify your queries, right? Okay, so don't stop any question. That's my request. But I'll pause here and move back to the presentation, right? So this is the situation we are talking about, right? In the current coronavirus situation, right? And looking back, as I already told you, right? This is not the first time the world is facing a recession or something, right? You can see the 2001 or 2000, which I shared my own personal experience just after college, how the 9/11 attacks have happened, the telecom market, bubble burst, the dot-com market bubble burst, right? And also, if you look at 2000, it was also the timeline of Y2K jobs. If you look at your cousins or whomever started their career in 2000, they will be able to tell this Y2K jobs. And there are also rumors going on that in 2000 all the computers will die and so many things, right? So if you look at that particular scenario changed and it opened up a lot of R&D jobs after the 2001 recession, right? Similarly, if you look at 2008, the Lehman Brothers, right? When the meltdown happened, a lot of low-end manual jobs went away from the world. It was replaced by cloud computing. It was replaced by artificial intelligence, data science, right? So many new technologies have happened. In fact, I was reading another this thing, right? 2008 is a timeline where Uber was born, right? Uber got started at the time of recession. So every recession you can see in the history, right, has given birth to great companies, including Apple and HP. They were all born when there's a great depression in the US, right? Similarly, I would request all of you to take this particular situation, the COVID situation. I am pretty sure this is a challenging time for all of you. You're all sitting in your homes. Your parents are concerned about your future, and they don't understand this technology world much. And you are not understanding much because you cannot go out and ask for information. And there are so many rumors coming along. So you have all the reasons to get concerned. My request is, do not get into the negative stream of thought, because it will only lead you more demotivated and more on the lower energy. Let us take an opportunity. This presentation is not only to give you orientation about the embedded system, but also provide you with certain opportunities that are opening up due to coronavirus. Okay. So that's my next slide, right? This slide I recently added into the presentation, right? So it is very interesting how people look into this COVID-19 situation. If you look at, right, 2 months back, right, March 15th or March 10th or timeline, right, we didn't imagine that the world will become like this, right? And today, because of the situation and how this virus is going to remain in this world for some more time, what are the situations that are opening up? Let me show you one by one, right? Think about social distancing in autonomous car, right? All of you would have heard about autonomous car or driverless car, right? Which will drive on its own. And even companies like Uber were considering making their entire fleet of vehicles in the driverless model so that they can maximize the profitability, etc., right? Imagine now how a car without a driver can ensure that the passengers who are boarding the car is following social distancing, right? Okay. So this requires whole lot of new thinking, where embedded systems is core of this thinking, including the sensors, including the detecting the distance, including the alert, etc. Imagine how much amount of work would require in an autonomous car, right? Second thing, if you look at the wearables, right? Sometime back we are thinking about wearables means there'll be this Fitbit, right, which I'll wear, which will measure my heartbeat, or which will give my pressure level, etc. That was my major understanding when you talk about wearable. But today, look at how the definition of wearable has changed. Like I was reading, I'm sure all of you know about this country, Israel, right? They're thinking about embedding a chip in every one of their citizens' bodies so that they can monitor them well, right? For the especially the temperature change and then this particular cough or whatever it is, the virus prone people, right? They can monitor them well, right? So the existing scenarios, which it could be an autonomous car or a wearable, the definition is drastically changing. And what I also saw was that within few months we'll get a wearable device which you can wear, and it will give you alert based about the coronavirus situation, right? Okay, hey, don't go here. There is a patient is already there, etc. Right? And even if you talk about the existing applications like Arogya Setu, I'm not sure how accurate they are, right? Today morning I saw a news that they failed in one of the major tests, right? So things are getting evolved, right? Think about the other scenarios, okay? About restaurants, right? Today we are really scared to go and sit in a restaurant and eat because we don't know where things will get contracted, right? So good number of restaurant companies, right? They wanted to avoid the human touch, right? Or wherever there's high human touch, they want to replace with robots. Now the robotics is getting redefined, be it supply chain, be it restaurant. I'm sure all of you already seen some pictures where somewhere in Europe already the restaurants have deployed robots for serving you food. And there is a restaurant in Bangalore which serves food using robots, etc. Right? But robotics is going to getting a new definition due to the current pandemic situation. Think about network, right? I think when I started, a couple of you said, sir, I'm not able to hear you properly, right? Suddenly, if you look at the 5G technologies, right? I was looking into yesterday, one of my HR person in my LinkedIn, he's telling they have a desperate need to hire networking engineers, basically embedded networking engineers, because the companies want to move very fast to create 5G based networks, right? Because of this coronavirus situation, more people are working from home, right? Not only working from home, you think about any other service today. Think about education today, right? Okay, you might have your nephews and niece in your hometown or in nearby, right? They cannot go to school, right? And almost all the schools are moving their education online. So this is going to put a lot of load on the network, right? Even our 4G network cannot handle that. So all of a sudden, the telecommunication or networking industry, which people are telling, oh, it's saturated, you know what, not much things are there. Suddenly, the need for 5G network has picked up like anything, and companies are heavily investing, right? Think about how it is changing. Last one, you can also think about the ventilators and personal protection equipments, right? That is, if you look at these all the scenarios which I mentioned, right? Embedded system has got to play a new role here. Whatever we are thinking for so many years, the definition has significantly changed, right? So my request is, why don't you see this as an opportunity like this, right? And believe me, companies have already started working on this. Okay, and when they start working on this, what they will need, okay, our industry heavily driven by knowledge, right? Okay, they want engineers, they want people with the skill set to come and build these products and solutions for them, right? So please take it, this particular slide, okay, this is how the future is going to look like. More, and I'm just given 5 examples, you can easily make it as a 50 examples. Every use case that you have been thinking is getting redefined due to the pandemic situation. And embedded system has got a key role in whatever the examples that I have shown here in this particular slide and much more, right? So let me move on. So that's the reason why I would say embedded systems and IoT are here to stay. Okay, these not jobs which will vanish overnight, right? You look at some of the market statistics, these are all the numbers what we have seen in the market sometime back, right? At least in India alone, the market statistics says 7 lakhs embedded system jobs are there. Okay? And 7 lakhs is not for everybody and everybody, right? The people who should have those many skills only will get it, right? So there is a good number of basically jobs available. More number of manufacturing is going to come in countries like India, across all the domains like consumer electronics, communication equipments. For example, 5G, right? How many new devices you need to create and what kind of an embedded software need to get into that. Right? These are all going to drive more jobs going forward. So similarly, IoT also, lot of jobs, because IoT is again a superset of embedded. Just a minute, guys. So there also we see a lot of jobs increase, projected numbers are there, right? You can go through this offline just for our reference sake. And today, if you look at any industry, be it retail, environment, industrial, smart city, right? Or power, everywhere today, embedded and IoT technologies are touching. There is no other, in fact, if a particular industry is not adapting this technology, they will lose in the competition. They have to become technology-enabled companies very soon. Okay. So what are the career possibilities, right? This is where I think a lot of questions have come. Let me answer those questions, right? Okay. So what I will be doing, right? Assuming that you have been hired for a embedded engineer position, what will be doing, right? So let me at least give you a bifurcation of jobs. If you look at embedded and IoT jobs, right? I'll come to the what is the difference between embedded and IoT. Difference, I'll come to that in the next slide, right? At least if you look at the job, right, you can divide into two major areas. One is embedded hardware and embedded software. If you look at the hardware side, you have jobs like VLSI design or a chip design, board design kind of a jobs, which is out and out about how you are designing a particular hardware. So that's what the right side is all about, right? But if you look at the Indian scenario, more than the hardware-oriented jobs, the software-oriented jobs are much higher. That is nothing but the embedded software jobs, right? That is actually much more higher. In general, software is higher. So that also you can divide into two, right? One is what you call application software, which you people call it as an IT job. Then there's a system software, which is nothing but the core job, right? These two are the major categories. Of course, I'm not going to talk about the IT or the application software. Let us talk about the system software or core job. Okay? So here, various roles are there. For example, design engineer, development engineer, test engineer, integration engineer, field application engineer, right? These are all the different roles, right? One is a designation, which is a system software engineer or a core software engineer, which you'll print in your visiting card depending on the company. Somebody will say firmware engineer, somebody will say system engineer. That is more of a visiting card purpose. Leave that, that's not going to help. But what you are going to do, right? Either you are going to design, you're going to develop, you're going to test, you're going to integrate, or you're going to deploy in the field, right? And these roles can be played across any domains you can think of. In the embedded, you have automotive, retail, healthcare, manufacturing, consumer electronics, and much more verticals, what is shown in the previous slide, right? So this is where your career is going to be there. In India, let me repeat, more number of jobs are in embedded software, and this is how the role versus vertical will shape up. So this will lead to some combinations. Let us say, for example, you can be a design engineer in the consumer electronics company. Let us say some company is doing a wearable device. That's a consumer electronic, right? Okay. So you can be doing some design in that company, or you can be a test engineer doing in an automotive, because automotive requires a lot of testing because it's a mission critical. If there is anything happens in the autonomous car, it will lead to catastrophic effects. So a lot of testing need to be done. You may do a testing in an automotive vertical, or you can do an integration in retail, right? Where, for example, these days you're talking about self-checkout. You go to a shop, you only check out, you only pay and come out, right? So this requires various pieces, right? You can integrate them together and do it as a solution. Like that, you can draw as many combinations as you want. Okay, I just would like to show how your career will shape up, if you get into this particular domain, right? So this is what predominantly the companies are hiring for. Okay? And these jobs, believe me, guys, cannot be done by anybody and everybody. This requires a specific skill. Okay, so that's our next topic on skill building, right? So let me just take a pause. I guess I have left with few questions. Let me close it and come back to the skill building. But at least I hope the job role, the vertical in which you will be performing various jobs, I hope that is clear. Okay, let me just revise some questions and come back. Sanjay, my ME percentage is 71.8. That's good, Sanjay. Anyways, as I already told, doesn't matter. You need to work towards the skill building, which is our next to this thing, right? Next topic. In HTML coding skill or Java, other sort of languages related to embedded systems or Internet of Things. Kamlesh, I talk about the IoT. In the IoT side, there are two pieces. One is the embedded side and another is on the application side. In the application side, all these technologies, what you mentioned, and much more comes into picture. In the embedded side, it's very much the core aspect of it. Sanjay, again, your percentage doesn't matter, your era password doesn't matter. Okay. So Rashid says, what do you mean by depth required? Is it hands-on? Yes, Rashid. You need to do things in a practical manner. It's not about reading from a book, by hearting and writing an exam and getting good marks, which you've done for the 4 years of engineering, and if you've done an MTech, 6 years of your education. That's not going to work in a practical world. You need to get practical. That's what I mean. Okay? What are the basic things to learn for embedded and IoT? Lalit, that will be my topic now in the skill set. Okay. Sanjay, what is the fees for this course? I think Smita would be the right person. Smita, take a note about Sanjay. Okay. Artificial intelligence will play a major role in the development of embedded and FPGA devices. Okay, Gopi Suresh is asking. So Gopi, whether it is data science or artificial intelligence, okay, they are not going to basically help you to develop the embedded systems, right? Because they are all operated at application level, be it data science or artificial intelligence, they all come in the application layer. But where the embedded system comes into picture is now, for example, you have got a huge amount of data you want to analyze and get some predictions or get some insights, right? So your hardware should be powerful enough to drive that, right? So which requires you to go back and think and redesign the hardware and make the hardware capable by writing more intelligent software. So that's where the embedded system field has become a new next wave they're facing, like mental graphics, who are designing the chipset, like NVIDIA, which I spoke about, and all the firmware companies, semiconductor companies like Qualcomm, they're all building these use cases by the combination of hardware and software, so that their hardware, be it a router, be it a switch, or be it a custom device, can very well support the use case for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Understanding the logics from it, yes, Kamlesh, logical thinking is the key thing. Okay. Karthikeyan is asking, sir, if candidate is selected to a particular company within 4 months, then the rest of the module we can get. It's okay. So Karthikeyan, the online model where the placements will only start after you complete the course, because online people are distributed throughout the country. We cannot make them travel very frequently. So we have defined a mechanism where you finish the particular 4.5 months course, apply for the certification and come to Bangalore and attend placements. So there is nothing called course getting incomplete. You finish all the modules, get qualified, then you come to attend placements. Okay. Karthikeyan, how can you get NSDC certificate? The end of the course, as I already told, we are working with Skill India. The Skill India people, which is NSDC or the Electronic Sector Skill Council people, they'll come, they will do the assessment, then they will be basically giving you the certificate. We have a 100% pass rate. You don't need to worry. As long as you follow what has been told in our syllabus, people come with the flying colors in their assessment test also, right? Mailadri is asking internship syllabus. We can share, Mailadri. It's in a reasonably in the initial stage. Okay, Smita, take a note. We can get back to Mailadri with the internship part. Madan is asking, please tell me what are all the basic fundamental concepts required for industry in IoT and embedded. I'll talk about it, Madan. That's the next topic on skill. Okay. Big NSDC courses of your is available all over India. Lalit has told, our courses, our embedded system courses and our internship offering and our IoT course are now online, which means to say you can take from anywhere. Right, all over India, people are already taking, I would say, using their internet, they're learning from their home. Yes, you can take those courses and then go for certification. Which is better for starters. Again, I would request not to get into board centric, because many of us get fascinated about the board. I would say you focus on the core aspects, like understanding the schematics, right? How to basically do an interfacing with a particular board, right? And what are all the core building blocks like interrupt controllers, right? And how do I write a program which doesn't get into race conditions? These are the aspects important. Doesn't matter whether you are using a BeagleBone or Raspberry Pi. Okay? Often we get so fascinated about these boards, and every company these days keep releasing new boards, and some of them are even giving free boards, right? I would say don't get board centric. Become a concept centric, right? It's like, for example, if you take an analogy of cricket, right? You're asking, sir, should I play in Wankhede, Mumbai, or should I play in Lords in London, right? I would say don't worry about whether it is England pitch or Indian pitch, right? You focus on your batting technique. Can you play square cut well? Can you play pull well, right? Can you play the hook well? As long as you are good in that, you can be very effective in both the places. Okay, think like that. BeagleBone is better, Ajay, that could be fine, your opinion. It says when the placement opportunity starts, when I joined the training, as I told Pratik, after the course gets over, 4.5 months, your placement will begin. Okay, and it's an online course. If you need, as I told, you can get the details from my colleague. Deepika will explain you the course details. My colleague will reach out to you after the webinar. Malyadri, did you provide training in Arduino board? So in our IoT course, we do an IoT Arduino compliant. Arduino, I don't know how many of you know, guys. Okay, Arduino is a software. Many of you all very fondly relate Arduino with the hardware, right? Arduino is not a hardware. Arduino is a platform. Many boards are compliant with that platform. So we use another form of board called ESP32, which we use in our IoT course. Okay. If the online course is affiliated with NSDC, yes, Rashid. Okay, all our courses are affiliated. Is there any percentage criteria to be eligible for placements? Right. See, as I told you in the beginning, as far as we are concerned, right, at least we should expect you to have a first class in your engineering, at least 60% in your engineering. That would be the criteria for placements. Okay. Krishna is asking, do you see that cloud computing is also an important skill for an IoT engineer? Okay, hold on, Krishna, because IoT is a too big an umbrella. I'll cover that shortly. Okay. Same thing, skills. Is embedded system based on cloud computing? When the online classes will start, Pratik, my colleague, will get in touch with you. Okay. All right. I think mostly questions have been covered. Now let us come to the skill part. You see, right? A lot of questions are coming about what should I learn? Should this board is good? That board is good. What do you mean by depth? And then is cloud computing part of embedded? Or if it is not part of embedded, is it part of IoT? Right? And how different they are. There's a lot of confusion, right? So let us get into the skill aspect now, right? Let us and then get a better view of it, right? I'll start with this particular transition. How you can basically build this particular thing in a multi-layer scenario, right? First and foremost thing, any domain you want to get specialized, be it embedded, be it IoT, or tomorrow it could be web development. Okay, first and foremost thing is foundational skills. Okay, anything, even if you want to become a good mathematician, you need to be good in certain foundational mathematics. Then only you can become a researcher, right? So that is a core aspect. Okay, I'll detail this in the subsequent slide. Then what you do, you go and build a domain specific skills. Right. Okay. In that embedded something or in that IoT, I build something specific. Right. Then subsequently, you can go and build good number of projects to showcase. Okay. So this is one thing which a major thinking I see in entry level engineers, because in your final year engineering, right? Okay. We see a majority of you go to a project center, buy a project, put it in your academics and get good marks, right? Can we get some answers? Okay. How many of you purchased your final year project? Are planning to purchase your final year project? Okay. Can you detail out? Can you get some answers? How many of you planning to purchase your final year project? Hello. Okay, not purchased, made my own automation project. That's good, Prashant. You have done but good number of students I see, right? They go to a project center, get that particular project and do it, right? So please don't do that. Okay, at least you spend some reasonable amount of time and build something on your own. It's going to help you for quite a long time in the coming years, right? Okay. Buying, or it may solve a temporary problem. You can just buy it and then get some marks and then you can get it, right? That may solve a temporary problem, but long run it's going to basically hurt you a lot. So do not, I would definitely not recommend you purchasing any of your final year projects, right? Okay, I am not in final year, but I purchased my semester project. You see that? Okay, so many of you end up doing that. Okay. So if you're done on your own, that's really good. Okay, but I would say don't do that. Okay, and then finally you can, when you are basically present these projects only, will give you the good credibility in the industry, right? Now let me just take the skills part. Okay, let me start with the embedded skill set. Just let me pull up this slide. If you look at this embedded skill set, right, what we say, it's called as a T model, right? So what do you mean by T model? You all know the shape of T, right? A T looks like this. Okay. So there are certain things which are good to know, okay, or get a very generic understanding, and there are some areas where you need to get a very specific understanding, right? So let me go through the horizontal, right, or the line that is in the this side, right? So you need to get good exposure. Suppose you're building an embedded system, you need to know how the various components are, okay, know about programming, know about some hardware, okay, etc. So that is important that you get an exposure or a broad, I would say, breadth of these things, right? But that's not important, right? But important thing is to get into the depth. So what do you mean by depth? These are all the skill set. Many of you asked the question. Take a look into this, right? Okay. So you talk about basically Linux systems, advanced C programming, okay, C++, data structures, any microcontroller that you can think of, Linux internals, and embedded Linux, right? Okay. So these are all the skill set. Programming may be an optional one. So this is a very critical skill set. What we call it as a complete embedded system stack, right? Okay. Here I'm not talking about any board, right? When we talk about foundations, suppose let us say C programming, right? You need to know in and out of C programming. For example, many of you will say, sir, pointers are out of syllabus. Okay, structures I only used is 3 programs. No, that will not work. You need to know in and out of pointers, in and out of bitwise operators, structures, unions, etc. Right? So the thoroughness or the depth what matters, and that will only come when you get hands-on, right? When you get hands-on, you will also produce your output, which we call it as a building a profile for yourself, which will include, for example, 7 to 8 projects. That's what we tell people, right? In terms of in your resume, when you look at, right, we don't want to see whatever the projects you purchased, the 2 or 3 projects, right? You just write that to one-liner, you write. Okay. Why? Because you've not done the project, or you should have at least 7 to 8 projects represented in your resume to build a solid case. Because think about your somebody asked me a question, right? Sir, will I get a 10 lakh rupee job, right? Okay. 10 lakh rupee job or 15 lakh rupee job, nobody is going to give just like that by seeing your purchase project from a shop. Let us be very clear. The person who is sitting in the interview panel is equally or more smarter than you, right? That's why he's sitting there. Okay. So he want to see that is he worth paying that much amount of salary. In fact, it's very happy. I'm very happy that somebody asked me the question, sir, will I get that much salary? That means she's aspirational or he's aspirational. That's very good. But my point is, being aspirational will not only help. When you go and sit in the interview panel, you need to prove that you are worth paying, right? You think, you want to buy a cell phone tomorrow. Okay. Will you buy any other particular phone, right? You make so much of research, and you really think, even if you're buying a 5,000 rupee phone, is it really worth it, right? Same thing, they are going to evaluate you. And that's only will come when you are basically, have this much amount of skill set mentioned in the left side, and in the right side, your resume should speak for yourself, right? Resume is something, in fact, we run some resume preparation workshops also, where we clearly tell, your resume is your product, right? You are going to sell yourself, and your resume is your product or your specification. How well you are able to sell this resume matters, right? Okay. So this is what we talk about, the skill set required for embedded. Okay. So now let me move on and jump into the IoT skill set, because IoT is another very funny thing happening, because anyone and everybody talks about IoT these days. Okay, and we go to a lot of conferences, we go to a lot of forums where we interact with a lot of people from the ecosystem, industry, hiring companies, etc. Okay, IoT, I would say, just for your understanding before I get into the slide, right? Okay, have you heard about this 5 blind man explaining an elephant story in your childhood or later also? 5 blind men explaining an elephant. Have you heard this story? If you heard, just say yes, or you can say no. Can you get some responses? 5 blind men. Okay, no. Okay, majority of you heard no. Okay, all right, no problem. Let me explain. Okay, so there are these 5 blind men. They are trying to explain the elephant, right? And as you know, elephant is a big animal. They're all holding on to different parts of the animal. Let us say one blind man is holding on to the leg of the animal and of elephant, and say, you know what? Elephant looks like a pillar. Why he is telling? because he's holding on to the leg of the elephant. Another blind man is holding on to the trunk of the elephant, and he says, hey, no, it's not a pillar. Okay. Elephant looks like a snake, Why? He's holding on to the trunk. Another fellow says, neither of you are correct. Okay. Elephant looks like, what? It looks like actually a parachute. Why? He's holding on to the ears of the elephant. It looks like a parachute for him, right? So another fellow says, no, elephant looks like a lion. Okay, why? He's sitting on top of the elephant and he looks like, as if the elephant movement looks like a lion. Okay. So if you look at IoT, it's like that. Okay. It depends on how you look at it. Okay. Because it's so big, it's so vast in nature that everybody is looking into their own perspective and trying to explain how the blind mans are explaining an elephant. Okay. So now let me come back to the slide and explain you what are the pieces in the IoT now. Okay. What are there? Okay, when you think about IoT, the first one is nothing but an IoT device. Okay, so let us take a use case of street light management system where in your town or city, the government want to basically monitor the street light usage. What they will do, they'll deploy a few lakhs of devices, small devices in every street light that has been installed, which will have a lot of sensors, and it is continued to monitor the IoT, that particular lamppost, right? Now, the second piece that comes into what we call as IoT gateway. Okay, this is it's sort of an architectural view, right? So now let us say I have deployed 10,000 devices in my city across various municipalities or various wards or whatever, right? Here, I can't monitor all 10 lakhs devices directly, right? So what happens is these IoT devices are grouped under gateways. So multiple IoT devices connect to a gateway. For example, let us say 1 lakh devices come under one gateway. So eventually I will have 10 gateways monitoring 10 lakh devices, right? It's like more of an hierarchy. Then this gateway predominantly talks to the internet, okay, via your TCP/IP, and on the other hand, you have a IoT cloud platform. Many of you spoke about or requested me about the importance of cloud in IoT. This is the piece we have been talking about. And finally, let us say a government official or your local administrator want to get some insights, right? Whether like what is the street light power usage, where the power consumption is high, where the power consumption is low, where the sunlight is high, sunlight is low, etc., right? For that, he or she needs some amount of application. This application can be a mobile application, it can be a simple web application, right? These are all the 5 pieces. Now, in order to build this complete 5 pieces, believe me, you require lot of expertise. You require expertise in embedded, you require expertise in networking, you require expertise in cloud, you require expertise in web application development. Somebody asked about, sir, HTML, is it part of it? Yes, it is part of item number 5 mentioned here, right? Cloud computing, it is part of number 4 mentioned here. So that way, if you see, IoT is like an elephant. It's so big. So now what I would suggest is, building an expertise in all the 5 pieces. Let us not focus. That's not the right way to focus, because it will take a lot of time and it's take a lot of effort. And I would say it's not good, because you don't want to be, expert in all the areas. Expertise means you are good in one area, right? So I would say let us divide into 2 ways, right? One, what I would say, this piece number 1, 2, and some understanding of piece number 3. Or wherever the orange square is there, right? This is what I would say, an ECE or a, EEE engineer's point of view, right? You should be looking at IoT only from this, which means to say what? Even though you say IoT, your focus is on the embedded side only. Okay? In the similar lines, if a computer science engineer or an IS engineer want to look, he will look into the other side. That is, some element of 3, mainly 4 and 5. Okay? So please, can you get, is this understanding clear, guys? Okay. Can you get some answers? Because there's a lot of questions. I want to ensure you understand this picture. Then subsequently, I can run the slides easily. Okay. Chaitan, Satvika and Krishna says yes. Can you get some more responses? Is this view clear? How you should look at it? Okay. Nitya also says. Very good. Okay. So my point is, don't think I want to be good in all the 5. Okay. As of on the contrary, you can say, So in that means, say if I want to become an embedded, IoT person, should I forget about 4 and 5? No, right? I would say you get a very deep hands-on programming expertise in 1, 2, and some extent 3, and get a very high-level understanding of 4 and 5. Okay. Similarly, a computer science guy can come and tell me, sir, I want to become an IoT engineer. For him, I will say you become very good in 4 and 5, and then you have very introductory knowledge about 1 and 2. Okay, so that's going to be the approach, guys, right? So that's what we take in our embedded course also. Even though it's basically an IoT, the focus very much targets on the electronics or electrical engineers only, right? Which involves skill sets like understanding the architecture, which I shared you in the previous slide. Okay, setting up the IoT workflows, C programming, very well part of the device programming or IoT device programming, for which we use Arduino or the ESP32, which question was also there. Then microcontroller programming using Arduino, and for building devices, building gateways, we need Python. That's why we use the Python programming in our IoT course, right? And then finally, we give a very high-level view or an integration view about IoT cloud and IoT performance and security. This is more about their knowledge, not a hands-on perspective. It's more of an integration perspective, right? So if you look at there are 8 items mentioned there. If you look at around 5 to 6 of them are very much an embedded view only. Why? Because we are targeting the electronic audience. If I'm showing the slide set to a computer science audience, I'll show altogether the skill set from other part of it, right? Okay. So that's what it is. So use based on which you will be building, the similar skill set. Ideally, 7 to 8 projects, knowledge about IoT protocols, etc. IDE development schools, etc. That's what your skill set will look like. Okay. So I hope you are able to get the difference between embedded and IoT. Okay. I have few more slides left. I know we are running out of time. I will also float the quiz. There is a question from Yashaswini. Just few minutes, guys. I will float the quiz also. Okay. So how and where to start? As I told, first and foremost thing, start using Linux, some or the other form. Okay. That's something because many of you still use the Windows and other things, which is not okay when you want to transition to the embedded and IoT domain. Second one, learn one programming language very well. Okay, I would strongly recommend you learn C programming. Don't pick up Python because Python is easier to learn. Don't do something which is very easy. Pick up something which is challenging. And as I told, build a in-depth knowledge about one C programming language. At least build a 3 to 4 projects. There are a lot of avenues available where you can do the projects. Okay. Some of you might join our course and you are not joining our course. That's a different story. I'll show you some links where you can go download our projects, which is already available. Start implementing. Okay, you need just install Linux and start implementing them. Absolutely fine. Okay. Finally, write a very good resume. I'll walk you through some resources which we have. You can use and you can basically create a resume template and then share it with the potential recruiters. Okay. How we can help as a company, right? As I already told, this is a first and simple thing we can do is bring up awareness, clarify your questions, share our knowledge. That's what you are doing in this particular workshop. Okay. And I'll share you some templates, resume, and there are a lot of materials that we put up for free. Anybody can use it. You can feel free to share with your friends. Okay, you can very well use it by yourself. Tons of materials available. I'll walk you through. We have YouTube channels also where we have started putting some contents. Okay, answering your queries and questions which have been doing from the beginning, right? Now, let me quickly show you the place where you can see the materials and then move to the quiz. So go to our website, imarti.com. See, if you just open the website, you just click this particular link there called course materials in the top. You can see this page, right? All the subjects, whatever we are teaching, the complete materials are available, be it the slides or sample code, assignments, projects, everything is clickable. You can access them. And if you slightly come down, there is a section called Disha, where we have put up the resume workshop, where there are resume tips, resume templates available. some facing interview tips are also there. This webinar interface also, if you see, they are there. You can click here, this slide also you will be able to download, building careers in embedded, and some more blogs and other things. Okay, I would strongly recommend you can browse through this page, download as many materials as you want, which will give you the kickstart, right? Any further queries you have, you can always reach out to us. Okay. So with this, I would like to close the presentation, and my colleague Smita's mail ID and phone numbers are mentioned in the screen. You can take a note. Any queries, you can shoot out a mail to her. Even if you wanted to some query to me also, you can write to her. It will reach to me, right? So with this, let us move on to the quiz now. Let me open the quiz. So let me copy paste the quiz link. It will be a simple Google Drive quiz. Okay. So I will copy paste in the window. Okay. Please click the link and take the questions. I will keep it open for next an hour or so. Okay. I will choose the answers. So both subjective and objective answers are there. You can write there. And by end of the day, our team will reach out to you for the winners, and also will collect your postal address so that we can send the goodies once the courier services resume. Okay, so that would be the quiz. Can you start taking the quiz, guys? Can you get some answers in the window, please? Is the link opening? Okay, Ajay says yes. Okay, so you can click the link and open the question. Okay, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes for that matter. Take your time, no hurry. It's not an exam, just to mainly to check that you learned. And as I told you, your participation certificate, this slide deck, what we shared here, and the quiz results, everything will be announced. The recorded video also will upload today itself in the YouTube and send the link in the mail itself, so you can watch out this video once again. In case some of you had a network issue, and some of them I see drop out and drop in due to the internet challenges, right? Anything that you faced, you can look into it once. Any other questions, folks, that I can answer? Is it clear? Are you able to get answers for at least most of the queries you had in terms of the domain, the opportunities, the skill set, etc.? Okay, Malyadri, the project list is already there in the list which I shown you. You can go to the resource library, the same projects, right? Go to emergy.com, right? The course materials, right? You can check all the project list. We have module specific projects. Okay, we can do that. Vinod asked, what is the specialty about the training offered by Emergy? As I told Vinod, it is not only teaching, it's ensure that you guys learn, because when you learn, then only you will be able to produce the output in the placements. So we are result and outcome oriented organization. Thank you for giving a good suggestion. Okay. Jyotsna is asking, sir, can we do IoT course without doing embedded course? Yes, very much. Okay, because even if you say an IoT course, if you see, right, it is an embedded IoT course. Our course focus still remains on the embedded side. Okay, and also you'll be learning some additional skill set on the cloud side, etc. Right? Okay. Embedded systems, such kind of subject is very difficult to learn online. Yes, Malyadri, that's why, as I already told you, it's not like web programming where you can learn on your own. We are taught through with our 16 years of experience. Then only we launched it online, right, to ensure that you learn in the right way. It's not only about the video or the presentation. It's also about the assignment, support, and the doubt clarification, etc. Okay, that's what makes our learning unique for you guys. Okay. So the link is not getting accessed. Guys, are you able to open the quiz? I am getting a query from Savita that she's not able to access. Maybe I'll copy paste once again. The link is opening, right? Can you get some answers? Quiz link. Okay, Madan says yes. Savita, you can try this again. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I think, did you provide any industrial boards during course? Malayadre, I have clarified what we'll be using. Since it is an online course, we are using simulators for programming. As I already clarified, it's not about whether it is a board A or board B. In that board, what are you doing? What matters, right? Okay, you can buy as many boards you want, but if you don't know how to program, it is of lesser use. So I would suggest, rather than taking a board specific perspective, think from the perspective of what you can do in the board. I told an example of playing versus in Wankhede pitch versus Lord's pitch. How well you can bat. You should focus on your technique. Then you can play in any pitch. Tomorrow when you go to a company, the company may have a customized board, right? So what you will be able to do that if you do not know the programming and the foundations which I showed in the skill set slide. Your focus should be on that. Right? Of course, you can buy any boards if you want to wish, and you can try as many use cases as you want. There is no restriction. We are not restricting the board use. It's about foundational and the practical learning. Okay, all right. Thanks for Malayadri. So many interesting questions you had. Okay, I really appreciate. I really like when people ask so many questions. Okay, it's really important. Now also, if you don't ask me, when will you ask, right? Okay. So all right, folks. So thanks a lot for your time. I know we are almost 2 hours now. 12:46. It says my computer clock. So thank you for joining and patiently listening and then interacting in the chat window. It's been a pleasure. I know you're all sitting in different places, but it's been a pleasure knowing all of you. Can it get some quick feedback in the chat window? How did you find this workshop? Did it clarify your question? Was it helpful? Or anything we can do better? Can you type some feedback in the chat window, please? Okay, Ajit says very helpful. Really helpful. Jyotsna, sir, as your suggestion, which is better, IoT or embedded for girls? Girls, everything is good. There's nothing called boy girl here. Can do anything, not an issue. Okay. Prajwal says it was very helpful. Rohit says great. Prajwal says helpful to understand domain knowledge. Okay. All right, guys. Anything else? Any comments? Any feedback? Okay. I think fairly that's it. So thank you very much for all of you to staying in and attending this workshop. I will stop my presentation and I will be available in chat for maybe next few more minutes. Okay, maybe another 5 minutes. If you have still questions, we can discuss that. Okay, I'll close my presentation. I'll be still in the chat for a few more minutes. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Neeraj. Nitya. Okay. Yeah. Savita, when will be the next webinar? You watch out for our website, Savita. Okay, we'll let you know the next workshop time. Very helpful. Prashant says, thank you so much. Jyotsna, welcome, guys. Thank you, all of you, for patiently listening in. Let me stop the recording, maybe.